Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are joining us for this particular interview or podcast, or whether you're picking it up on a piece of social media streaming, then you're very welcome. And thanks a million for joining me for our Business Success series. This series gives me the opportunity to talk to some amazing business owners about their businesses. I'm going to ask what has worked for them, the challenges that they have faced or they may be facing, what innovations and technology have impacted them and their industry. So without further delay, let's get started. So today I'm delighted to welcome Michelle Rankin from Michelle Rankin Marketing. Michelle, great to see you.
Hi, Des. Thanks for having me on. Delighted.
Great. I've been looking forward to this session with yourself since I've kind of started doing these sessions. So really looking forward to it.
Excellent.
So first question, I'm going to get you to tell me a little bit about your business. What inspired you to start your business in the first place?
Okay. So why did I start? Well, I suppose it's Michelle from Michelle Rankin Marketing here. I offer digital marketing solutions for businesses who want to grow online, their visibility, and then in turn increase their overall sales and profits. What inspired me to start my own business? Well, I love helping others, and I love the success of businesses growing with the help of me. I started my business 5 years ago, and after spending time working in small and medium businesses, I knew there was a gap in the market, and many businesses weren't online virtually, visually. And it's just because obviously everybody is online with the use of digital marketing now. And I thought there was a little bit of a niche in the market. And yeah, I suppose with helping businesses, and I work with such a variety of different clients, it's fantastic.
So you mentioned your milestone, 5 years. Well done. That's a great achievement, Michelle. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. The 5 years absolutely flew. And I did not think when I started out that I'd be in business this long and constantly growing and increasing clients base, etc.
I'm not sure if you're aware of the statistic that is, attached to the 5 years, but 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years.
Okay, well then I'm 1 in 20% then. So
Yeah. So again, I think people don't really appreciate that. But when I hear that 5 year milestone, I think, well done. That's a great milestone. So tell me the biggest changes in your business. Obviously, when you started up, you would have started on your own. So tell us about the business now, and you've got a team working with you.
yeah, so there's obviously been challenges on the journey, all right. So I started out, I left a job I was kind of miserable in, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I started applying for jobs, and Dublin was the go-to, but my wee one was 2 at the time. I was like, oh, that's not really fair on her. So, because I had worked in small and medium businesses all of my life, I thought, do you know what? I'm good at digital marketing. I went back and I qualified, worked full time, and went back to college while the wee one was 2 and qualified in the digital marketing. So then I went and I did a start your own business course for about 10 weeks. And I suppose like that's how I started. And it just grew from networking and even all walks of life. Like I even had a customer who I met when I was 19 out as a holiday rep abroad, and he was one of my first customers in Spain. Uh, so when people, and it was so funny because I set up I just put up a post saying, I'm starting out my own, and I had over 150 shares from a load of people that all walks of life that I had been dealing with in my previous career. And all of a sudden they were like, yeah, can you help me? Can you help me? And I hit the ground running. I had no website. I had no business card, and I was working 5 days a week. I had an office at home, and then just started with BNI. I was part of a business networking for the last 4.5 years, nearly 5 years going on. And it has done wonders for me and my business. Like I had massive imposter syndrome. Can I do it? Can I do it on my own? And I just grew, and I have a team of 3 now. Well, there's 4 of us all together who work with me. So it's just constantly increasing. And then I have a load of people, subcontractors that I work very closely with. And as I said, it's massive, all walks of life, whether events, promotions, agricultural, wine merchants, office, stationery, you name it. So
Mm.
every day is a school.
Well, it's interesting that you've got such a wide array of clients in different industries, but actually their challenges are probably exactly the same. It's like business coaching. It doesn't really matter the industry that you're in, because the business owners that you're working with face the same problems and the same challenges, maybe at different
Yeah.
stages.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is very, very similar. People want more sales, they want more business, and they have to get online now. And the use of digital marketing is massive, as opposed to traditional marketing. Traditional marketing is still there, but you need to show up and on a consistent basis. And like businesses, they all worry about, how to run in their own business, so they don't have time for this. Or, they might start marketing and say, oh yeah, I'll do that next week, or I'll do that the week after. But the reason we have come in, we have that consistency and create ads and newsletters and blogs, and
Mm.
keep them constantly updated, so they don't have to worry about that.
But it's interesting. 7 years ago, when I was starting as a business coach, it was very much, even back then, it was like social media. You may not like it, you may not want to do it yourself, but you can't really keep avoiding it. You've got to take it on to a degree, obviously, depending on the business.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt. Because you could be the best kept secret in Ireland, otherwise. And at the end of the day, how are you getting new customers? Yeah, you've your existing customers and it's word of mouth, but you have to be in somebody's subconscious the whole time for when they need you. So the idea of marketing and online, what you do now is for what you get in 6 months' time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned an interesting one. So I'm going to go back to something that you mentioned when you were talking about challenges you faced, and it was the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So tell us about that, and how long would it have taken you to kind of really get over imposter syndrome? Because it's real.
Oh no, I still have it. I still have it. I think every business owner has it. And I don't know, is it a more a woman kind of a thing? Sorry, but like we worry about stuff, and
Yeah.
we worry, oh, am I good enough? And can I do this? And you constantly are thinking the whole time. And look, there is good days and bad days. Like there's still days that I look at a job and you're like, oh, I could do that. Could I just jack it all in and stuff? And you do. And the one thing somebody had said to me before, your wins are like 12 out of 10, but your losses or anything like that is a real zero. Whereas if you're in a job, everything is, just you have your wages, you don't have to worry about it at the end of the day. But like imposter syndrome, I do believe everybody has it to a certain extent. Now, whether they admit it or not is a different story. But look, I'm hands up. Um, I just didn't know, because digital marketing is so huge, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm a fighter, and I know I'm good at what I do, and like I work with people rather than for them. So it's like, if I'm working with you, it's like, right, Des, this has worked. What has worked out well? Let's build on that and constantly do that. But you have self-doubt when you're starting out a business, and it's a scary kind of a world, because at the end of the day, I have a house, I have a daughter, and it's all about providing, and can I, and I suppose that was, you're not getting your holiday pay at the end of for Christmas or anything like that, and these are the sort of things that you have to really think about.
But I think you mentioned something really, really important there. Actually, was a way to get over imposter syndrome when you meet someone for the first time is to ask them great questions.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dig deep. Tell us about your business. Tell us what's not working. Tell us what you
Hmm.
think about that. What effect is it having on your business? There's so many great questions you can ask, which you then kind of say, well, I know the answer for most of these questions. You may not have all of them, but 90% of the stuff you say, yeah, I can help you with that. I can help you with that.
Absolutely. And the thing is, right, everybody is obviously in the same boat. And I didn't have any confidence when I started out my own. And the one thing that I massively leaned on, yes, okay, from a business point of view, was the business networking. But also from a personal point of view, I wouldn't do this in the month of Sundays 5 years ago. or have a microphone in front of my face or anything like that. No, it'll be all behind the scenes. But each time you build that relationship with somebody in a network industry, they'll help you and you'll ask questions. And they also were in the exact same boat of, they have good days and bad days. Like I remember I wanted to jack it in and everything just got on top of me. And I got a lovely testimonial from a customer and I was like, oh, hey, there's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing,
Yeah. But I think, as we do a bit of work together, celebrating those wins is so important, because we just can't, as humans, we automatically have a kind of negativity bias and we let the bad stuff kind of catch up on us. So celebrating the wins, really, really important. So well done.
Thank you.
So you've mentioned a little bit there in relation to maybe some of the strategies that you've used to grow your business. Okay, so you mentioned maybe BNI, a bit of networking. You've mentioned referrals and reaching out to people. So what key strategies have been most effective in growing your business in the last 5 years?
So obviously, without a doubt, networking and being there and building relationships with other business people, like-minded business people. But I also qualified as a trainer. So I went back and I qualified QQI trainer. And so I can actually train people on how to do all of this themselves if they didn't want to, have monthly contract with us or something like that. But it's all about really upskilling, because the market that I'm in, is you have to constantly stay up in front of everything. So I went back to college again, glutton for punishment, me, and I qualified there with UCD for diploma in AI for businesses. And then obviously my team, they all excel in different aspects of digital marketing, and they're constantly upskilling as well. So it's about the strategies, I suppose, would be, having a robust online, using social media, and constantly, if you don't know how to do something well, we're going to find out how to do it.
You've also just recently introduced I suppose, a starter program to get people really into social media and digital marketing. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think
Yeah.
that's a great strategy to introduce people to your business.
Someone, well, there was a couple of people actually said, well, I'm a dinosaur, or I don't want to do anything online or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I decided to run a 4 module course on how and the basics and the knowledge about, posting, scheduling, creating ads, using Canva for your little bit of artwork, your LinkedIn, all of that kind of stuff. So we do it over so it's over 8 weeks. So it's every second week, and it's a 2-hour program. And it's literally, so I'm in the process of module 3 now. The next one will be in January. But it's for people that shy away from social media, know that they have to get with it. There just seems to be a niche out there where people, I suppose in COVID, nobody knew how to use StreamYard or Zoom or anything like that, and they had to embrace it. So I suppose it's simplifying everything for the people, and how to use social media and get on it.
Super. So let's move on. Next question, and again, it kind of piggybacks on that last question really, really well, actually. And let's talk about innovation. You've mentioned AI, actually, and being educated to learn as much as you can, even though you're technically qualified, very, very qualified. But things change. So what role does innovation play in your business, and how do you foster that, obviously, within your team that you're working with?
Yeah, so I suppose innovation is a massive, massive role within my business in the digital marketing world. But it's about allowing us to stay on top on getting with the trends, etc. Like, as you know, say TikTok is coming in fast, and we had to learn very, very quickly how to utilize that and how to create ads, etc. There's new newsletter platforms that we need to make sure that we know how to use. We're after, there was a new one additionally last week where myself and one of the team went on an hour's training on how to use it. Now, a lot of them are quite similar in what they do, but it's about, we want to, where we use that whole problem solving approach, where we give you hands on and we will help you with any of your digital marketing needs. And it's just upskilling and constantly staying front of mind on trends and anything that's coming fast and quickly. And like people that say, Facebook, it they think that the Facebook is timed out. It isn't really, because you can create ads and you can target specifics in the
Mm.
demographics, and you can do so much more on the back end of it. So yeah, it's all about. So we would have a weekly meeting, myself and my team, and we would talk about the challenges that we faced the week before, how we can embrace it, how we can make changes, and we will put those changes into effect.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned Facebook there. Like all of these companies and all of these platforms have to continue to innovate to offer something different.
Yeah,
And I think that's part of the challenge. Whether it's getting to know Facebook and all its changes, or trying a platform that you've never used before because of the advantages it can bring to you and your business, to your team, whether it's communication between your customers, between communication with your team. You've got to be able to innovate to stay ahead, I suppose.
yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And like that, without a doubt, in the online world, because somebody could say they're a digital marketer, but they mightn't necessarily be good at Google Analytics, Google AdWords, um, websites, e-commerce websites, your LinkedIn ads. It's massive industry.
Yeah. And look, it's not going to slow down. I think
No.
I keep hearing about how if you're not using or learning AI at the moment, in 2 years' time, you're going to be totally left out of the loop on it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like AI, we're its parents at the moment, so it's all about educating AI on what is right, and that's why obviously the paid versions, because they take more serious. But like the stuff that AI, but now in saying that, people are scared of it because they
Yeah.
think that they're going to lose jobs and different things like that. Where it's not. We're always going to be there to help and aid it.
I think it takes me back maybe 10 years where people were afraid of social media and said, don't need to know social media. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. I think AI is going to be that in 10 years' time. I should have learned more. I should have been more aware of the benefits rather than the threats, as you've said.
Exactly, and embrace technology, and don't get me wrong, I still like, no matter online, I still have post-its and I still have notes, and I'm still old school as well, but
Old
I
school.
have to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to see what's in front of me. There's post-its and notes everywhere too. So come here, you mentioned earlier on about celebrating wins and the importance for focusing on wins that we've got, as well as not just necessarily focusing on the negatives. So how do you measure success, both personally and for your business, and how do you now celebrate success on the back of that?
Yeah, so I suppose I measure success through the business through client satisfaction. I can't even say the word now today. uh, Client testimonials. You have your growth metrics. You have your data and your analytics and all that kind of stuff, which is, whether events are sellout and how many ticket sales, and that's very easy. But I suppose through the wins, it's all about maintaining the life work balance, all of that kind of stuff. But I started with a little journal, and it's kind of gratitude personal journal, 5 minutes in the evening, and it was what 3 wins you had for the day, and that actually is really good on staying positive,
Mm.
because negativity can eat you up, and all of a sudden you wake up negative. Whereas having this sort of gratitude diary is very good to see. Oh, okay, so these 3 things happened. They might have been minor, but it happened today. Obviously, we talk about the wins and stuff like that, and the challenges with the team. Um, but we all sort of egg each other on, because the way I work, I like to work with my team, rather than dictating and all that kind of stuff. But I made the mistake of, so if I obviously got a client, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and if I get a client, or I said to her, listen, if I get a client, we'll go and do something fun, whether it be go to the cinema, have something to eat, go to Smith's, whatever it may be. And it's nearly twice a week now. Well, ma'am, did you get a new client yet? So she has put me to the wall. So she's asking me twice a week, like obviously because it's benefiting her, you know. But that's one way we celebrate the wins in our house, you know.
There is nothing like an 8-year-old to keep you accountable to signing clients, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. When can we go to Smith's?
Win-win,
Yeah,
win-win. But I think it's really important, and I know we've had this conversation in the past, you know, about how important it is. And you've mentioned your gratitude journal, and you mentioned focusing on the positives,
yeah,
because it's so easy to go down a rabbit hole and let one challenge or one negative part of your day just really affect your whole mood for the evening,
brilliant.
and that's not fair on anyone, you know,
Yeah,
yourself, Mia, anyone in the families. So
yeah. No, it is, and like that, I suppose for a little bit of time I was focusing on negative things, and you know, you could have words with a customer, and like I don't know about you, but having your own business, it's a you know it's very personal, and I always want to succeed and be successful, and want to do a good job for all my clients. So then, if you get some negativity and feedback, it eats you up, you know.
yeah, yeah, and people will have heard me say before, you know, people on the outside looking in at business owners think, my God, they have such an easy job. Wow, they're the business owner. You know, it must be amazing. And yet we know that it's one of the hardest things is to open a business or run a business or manage people. You know, you're the first up every morning. You're the last one to bed. You know, when things aren't going well, you know, you're the first person who gets the blame, but you never get the
Yeah,
credit.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think, you know, it can be tough. And I think where we can bring a little bit of joy and a little celebrate the wins is so important for you, for the team, for your family, for your customers, for your clients, because they want to see you winning. You know,
Yeah,
so again, if you
yeah.
win an award, get it up there and let people know I won this for, you know, whether it's technology and innovation or for customer service or whatever it is, let people know about it.
And that's one thing about being online and putting your personality online. And I would say that, you know, social media is about being social, but it also people to celebrate your wins and show your achievements, even though you don't want to. And I am one of these people where I hate showing up, but I have to do it.
Yeah,
So like say for instance, I got a few certificates there and there's a picture of me with my certificate, and you're like, meh, but they're the ones that get engagements, and people are like, well done, they love to see somebody else succeed.
yeah.
So always, if you are in business, although you're creating your ads and your target audience and all that, create that brand awareness and show up on a personal approach, like even if it's, you know, some customer brought you in cakes, your appreciation for the cake, you know.
But it's interesting what we've kind of covered so far. Quite a lot on this interview has been a lot of the core values that are associated with BNI, and we're both obviously members of BNI.
Yeah,
Lifelong learning. You know, we're not afraid to learn, recognition, and building relationships. You know, I think that's really, really core. I think they're the reasons why I feel that networking and BNI in particular works, because you are doing that kind of every single week.
absolutely. Like I joined BNI and I remember like the fees and all that. I'm like, oh God, can I pay for that? You know, when you're first starting out. But
Yeah,
it was the best thing that I've ever done for and I say this all the time for myself and my business. So like you have to show up every week and you have to do the 45-second presentation of, you know, who you are, what you do, and what you're looking for. And that's so funny. I still get nervous. And then obviously you have to celebrate like, you know, your wins within or your BNIs or your referrals, how many people you've given business to. And I love that approach of the giver's gain.
yeah,
If I give businesses to business in return, they'll give me. But I wouldn't necessarily be looking for that. I love just, you know, one guy I got him, I think it was a 30 grand job. I was over the moon for the man, but
mm,
it was unusual. But he was delighted. I was even more chuffed for him because he got the business, you know. And it's the relationships, and you build the friendships. Like I started, and it was during COVID. some of them are still, I would say, best friends. Like, do you know, as in
Yeah.
you'd ring up and you'd be like, and you could ring them no matter what time of the evening or anything like that. And it's like, well, can you help me with this? And they will.
Hmm.
It's like a wee VIP service.
There you go. But I think that's the whole like-minded individuals part of it,
Yeah.
and I think you got to appreciate that. I think people in the BNI do. So give me 5 years in. You can't
Hmm.
obviously rest on that, but it's a super milestone to have reached. So what advice are you going to be able to give to someone who is looking to start their own business today?
Get a good hairdresser, because I think I got grayer over the last 5 years than anything. But
Well,
honestly, I suppose not you, Des. No, honestly, I suppose just do it. Start your own business. I was in a job that for years that the boss was just draining the absolute life out of me, and on a Sunday evening, I was in an awful state of affairs with the thought of going back to work. And I just literally start your own business course, and just went out on my own. Now, look, there's good days and bad days. Would I do it again? 100% yes. Do I love what I'm doing? Yeah. There is like, do you get imposter syndrome, as we talked about? Yes, most definitely. People said to me before, oh my goodness, you're so strong, going out on your own. Well, I didn't feel that at the time. I kind of felt stupid because I was leaving my weekly paid job. But just stick at it. Make sure that you've good people working with you, like a business mentor is a must, because you're accountable, because you could just get lost in the work. Your accountant is another one. Just having good people around you, and definitely go into the network. And if you're thinking of going out on your own, because people will help you in all ways. Like, I remember I even asked somebody to look at my quote, and they give me some feedback and different things. So I constantly improve what I do. But yeah, if you're considering going out on your own, I would say definitely do it. There's more rewards than anything.
yeah, but I think you've touched on some really, really important parts there. You can't do it, and as much as you might be a solo entrepreneur, or you start out business on your own, don't try to think that you can do it on your own.
Yeah, no, you
There are
can't.
lots of people around you who can help you, who can guide you, who can support you, who can tell you, you can learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
Um,
more people, and the people that are in business a lot longer, they have made a lot of mistakes. So they'll be able to advise you or help you through different situations. But a sole trader or starting out on your own is a very, very lonely place. And you don't know everything, nor will you know everything. Whereas the likes of your network and it's like-minded business people who are there to help you. Like, I'm even friends with solicitors, and I'd ring them up and I'd say, listen, if there was a contract, what would I put in here? And they would help me, no problem at all.
yeah, but again, that's, as I said to you, that's the power of the network. That's the like-minded business owners who are happy to, answer a question, um, without nearly charging you for it, because they know you, because they like you,
Yeah.
because they trust you.
Yeah.
Um,
And don't try, like I suppose one of the ideas was, what do you like doing and what do you not like doing? What's your least favorite? So my least favorite was my books and my accounts. It didn't make me any money, and I was spending hours and days on a Saturday at it. So now I have an accountant who helps me through it, and I can focus on what I want to do.
yeah, but again, such a valid point. Like, where do you add value to your business?
Yeah.
The quicker you learn that, the quicker you will stop doing the mundane stuff that you can get someone in to pay them to do it, even if you get someone in on a lower rate, or you get someone in on a part-time basis, or you outsource it to someone who can do it for you. It's not where you're adding most value to your business. So
Yeah.
again, where we can get rid of that, great.
Yeah. And like that, do I know everything? Or no, I'm constantly still learning. So and it's all about learning and improving and implementing the whole time. So what I started out as, I've gotten increasingly better and better because I've worked on it.
But again, there's old advice out there, not sure if you've heard it, but work harder on yourself than you do on your business. That whole learning, the more you learn, the more you earn. And I think,
Absolutely.
people can get caught up in a new business and think, I've done it, I've learned everything I need to learn, I just need to do it now. I would absolutely kind of put a kibosh that straight away and say, look, you got to keep learning. You've
Yeah.
learned so much to get you here. You got to learn more to take you to the next level.
And you are your brand, so
Yeah.
you need to constantly be upskilling and constantly learning and improving your services and you personally, like as you said.
It never stops. It never stops.
No.
Michelle, I can't believe that that's half an hour, that our time is up. It's been absolutely amazing having you on the show. That's Michelle Rankin from Michelle Rankin Marketing. Watch out for the taglines and the information on Michelle's amazing business, and reach out to her if you need anything, if you want to get more information on the programs that she's doing for beginners, or whether you feel you need someone like Michelle to come in and do your digital marketing for you. Give her a shout, reach out to her.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Des, and thanks very much for having me on.
It's been my pleasure. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a million.